which means it's Book Thursday. It means we go through the books we've read this month and we think that will be of value to the audience, and we mention what we liked and how they can be of help. So today we've got Jax, we've got Alejandro, and we have Amanda. So it's slightly different lineup of a Thursday collective so that things never get boring. So looks like, Jax, you have the most books recommendation. So which was the one book which was the most important that we definitely need to know about?
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, hi, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm super excited. So I am reading a book. The first book that I'm reading, it's my first love of genre, which is science fiction. And the book is called A Deepness in the Sky by Vernor Vinge. So, and I read everything like on my iPad, but I will show you the title there. This book was written, it won the Hugo Award. It was published, I think somewhere around 2000, maybe 2000, 1999, 2000. It was recommended to me by one of my very near and dear objectivist friends this is the book that you need to read as a capitalist and objectivist, a science fiction book. And I completely agree. I absolutely love this book. It has like everything that you want. It's a complete space opera with alien race, takes place. It's actually, technically the book is a prequel to another book that Vernor Vinge wrote back in 1996. And I actually think this is a better book. The prequel is a better book than its predecessor. Its predecessor is called Fire Upon the Deep. But it is all about these three different kind of races, two sort of different human races, and one complete alien race that takes place in this like solar system called the on-off system, where the sun for this one alien planet turns off for like hundreds of years at a time, and then the sun turns on for like 50 years or something. And the two human races that are sort of battling each other, one are basically like slavers in a way. They enslave the mind, and the other race is a race of traders called the Cheng Ho, and they are their deity is the Lord of Trade. And they're very, very, they're just pro trading value for value. And it's a really interesting battle between the traders and the mind enslavers. And then you've got this alien race they're like a spider race, and they are dealing with their own sort of progressing from dark ages to middle ages to kind of industrial revolution and contemporary. And so they're dealing with their own themes of freedom and enslavement and religion. And it's like from start to finish, it is like an amazing read. I love this writer. I had the opportunity to actually meet the editor of this book at a convention, who, you know, any of us who are writers understand the value of having a really good editor. And this was a book that the editor actually said that when he read the draft of it, he had to go back to the author and say, your protagonist that you have in here is wrong. This guy is your real protagonist, which was like, then the whole book got rewritten. So I love it. I highly, highly recommend it. I'd be super interested in people reading it and, you know, letting me know what their feedback is.
So a typical problem that objectivists have is, okay, after I've read Atlas Shrugged or The Fountainhead, where can I find some books that are at the spirit which is close to that book? So the fact that you found this book having value to you and to your ideas means that it sounds very interesting. So You don't need to have read, obviously, the other book because this is a prequel, so someone can start from the book. And
Right.
Daniel, did you get the title so that we can put it on the notes and on the chat? Yes, he got the title. Good. So we move to Alejandro. So Alejandro, what was the book you read in September that you think we should know about?
So this is a nonfiction. It's written by economist superstar in Spain called Juan Ramón Rallo. It's quite famous at the moment, and he published this book about 4 years ago. It's called Against MMT. If you've heard just a bit about what MMT is, it's basically monetary theory, which says that, well, you don't need to get taxes to spend, you just need to print money and the government can spend like crazy. And basically he just tries to critique every single part of that. But I think the crucial point of his, and what I think it's so refreshing, I mean, I'm an economist and I'm seeing this from also an economist point of view, is that I was taught in what is called the quantitativist school of money, which basically means that money and credit are the same thing. And that's a theory which is shared by people like Milton Friedman or even Mises. And
who has his birthday today, so happy birthday, really? Mises. Yeah.
Happy birthday. So, but Rallo thinks differently. He thinks that both credit and money are different stuff. So based on that, he will analyze MMT, and he realizes that by all fronts, it's a very weak theory to explain money and what's going on today.
So modern monetary theory, then again, as you said, it's a theory that many people confuse as being the pro-capitalism theory, as being the quote neoliberal theory. So a book that criticizes it sounds actually quite important. So against modern monetary theory sounds like an interesting book. So Daniel, hopefully you got that. So we put it on the comments. Amanda, what have you been up to reading wise in September?
I will tell you. Oh, I feel like maybe I should kick myself out of the book club because I did read an entire book like a month or two ago, and now I've read little parts of books. Also, I thought it was really funny that MMT acronyms crack me up. There's this telescope called the MMT, and it started MMT because it was going to be the multiple mirror telescope. But then when they actually got around to building it, they only had one mirror. And so, but MMT was still the acronym, so they called it the Mickey Mouse telescope from then on. So anyway.
I want to say, Amanda, I got one of your book recommendations from the last time.
Oh, super.
I think and I'm kind of like flipping through it. It was it the Edison book?
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's really
good.
That's a great one because you don't have to like read it cover to cover, and it's just filled with all kinds of insane facts. So
yeah.
Side note on that one.
All right, so I have read this one before, so I was reading it again because I like Shackleton. He's a cool guy. I should talk about, or read about him some more. So this is called Endurance by Alfred Lansing, and oh my gosh, you're gonna love this. Check out this description of Shackleton. All right, the whole undertaking was criticized in some circles.
Wait, some context. So what is it about? Because
you don't know who Shackleton is?
Well, for our readers.
Unfortunate. Okay, so he was an explorer, and he wanted to go across the Antarctic. Like both poles had been discovered, or someone had gone to both the North Pole and the South Pole, and he thought, okay, the last thing that you can do that no one's done before yet is to go across the entire Antarctic continent. And so he had like dog sleds on his ship called the Endurance, which was a massive ship. Okay, anyway, read the book. It's cool. But Shackleton, that's his name, and he was a cool explorer. And anyway, their ship got, stuck in the ice, and they had to go on this adventure in order to find their way back home. And everybody on the whole ship survived. And the ship was just recently discovered, preserved under the Weddell Sea. So Anyway.
So was this after, because Shackleton, there was the race to the South Pole
Yeah, this is
between
there'd be after
Shackleton
this.
and Amundsen. So is this after that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Okay.
thought that Shackleton died to the South Pole.
Mhm.
So maybe I got my facts wrong.
That's Scott, right?
Yeah. Well, Scott died on the way back, I think.
Oh, Scott. Okay, Scott. That's Captain Scott. Okay, my bad.
All right. Are you ready to hear about Shackleton? Okay.
We are ready. He does.
All right. The whole undertaking was criticized in some circles as being too audacious. And perhaps it was, but if it hadn't been audacious, it wouldn't have been to Shackleton's liking. He was above all an explorer in the classic mold, utterly self-reliant, romantic, and just a little bit swashbuckling. Whatever his mood, whether it was gay and breezy or dark with rage, he had one pervading characteristic. He was purposeful.
So
Right?
here's another book with themes that the fan of objectivism might enjoy. So it looks like an old edition. So is this book available on Amazon and stuff, or is this super rare or something?
I don't know. It was available on my bookshelf, so
Oh, okay.
that's what I care about. It says copyright 1959. I'm sure this is a newer edition. This was printed in 2000. So.
Okay. So again, Daniel, you do your thing and you put the link. Okay. So my option for the book of the month is a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. So the compound effect is based on a simple idea that if you pile up good things, these good things grow exponentially, and you do a little thing every day, you become slightly better every day, then it's almost inevitable that you will win. So the example, here's a simple example. So let's say today you have 500 viewers. Now, if every year you double your viewers, now if you have 500 viewers, it's not very difficult or it's not impossible to double your viewers. So you're only 7.5 years away from having an average of 100,000 viewers. And the other thing that works well with the compound effect is that as you keep doing things, you become better. So it's not only that your growth will be steadily and you're going to rise steadily, you're going to rise actually perhaps even faster. So the compound effect is a confidence boost that if you are doing the right things, if you are stacking up good habits, then your future is actually bright. Last month, I talked about atomic habits. So what you realize with good self-development books is that most of them are based on the same themes. So the compound effect focuses a lot on habits. So actually it talks about various habits that you can easily add to your everyday life. I took one habit from the book and I use it in my life. And it's a book which it's based on a very simple idea, but the whole book is actually interesting. And also, it has this one story that really sticks with you. It has this one story that really makes you get the point. So I'll paraphrase it so that it doesn't take long. There are 3 friends, and the 3 friends decide to make very little changes to their lives. So the first friend decides to just walk 1,000 steps more every day and cut 100 calories from his diet every day. That's the only small change. The second friend decides that he's not going to change anything. And the third friend decides to add a mini bar, a cool bar in his house. So every night he has like a margarita or something like that. Now, within some months, nothing changes. Within a year, any change is almost unnoticeable. The guy who has cut 100 calories, okay, he's slightly, he might have lost, I don't know, like 2 pounds, who also walks a bit more.
Like it's just only 100 calories. It's not like 100 more calories every day, right?
No, he only
calories.
cuts 100 calories every day. Not every day 100 more calories. Every day minus 100 calories from his starting point.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, though, is that if you see them after 3 years, the guy who had bought the cool bar at his house, the mini bar, he combined his drinking with watching a bit more Netflix, because the one thing leads to another. And his life is actually worse because he has gained weight. He has become a bit more a bit more passive. His wife is not super excited with him. The guy who didn't change anything, you would say he would be the same, but actually he's not the same, because time is an opponent that you have to do something active against him. And the guy who cut only 100 calories and who walks 1,000 steps more every day, he's in a better position in his life. Now, this example, you could say, okay, that's, it's easy, all other things being equal. But I think it captures something, that every little counts. It's what they say, Rome was not built in a day. But also, every little counts also in bad habits. Rome was not also destroyed in one day. So it's a very optimist, actually, book, which says that keep doing the things that you know are good, be consistent, and be persistent with things that are good, and you are going to win at the end. So the book, again, is called The Compound Effect, and it's by a guy called Darren Hardy, and I strongly recommend it. You will feel more self-esteem and confidence that, yep, I can do it. I'm on the right track. Or if I'm not in the right track, I'll figure out why I'm not on the right track.
How long is the book, Nikos?
The book is not long at all. So I had it in Audible, and I think the audiobook was something like 4 hours, no more than 4 hours though. So it's one of these books that doesn't have, I don't like these books that for every chapter, there's a long story, which supposedly is super insightful. I don't like this model. Just give me the facts. If you have a great example, give me the example. And yeah, Amazon says 200 pages. So again, for a self-development book, it's not that much. Thank you, Daniel.
Read 2 pages each time, and then in 7 years you will maybe
there
have
you
finished.
Okay, so who has a second recommendation? Because we're already 20 minutes in, and whenever Nikos is in charge, the daily objective is a short show. Your second choice needs to be a good one. So who wants to go with a second? Who is confident enough that you have a second?
Oh, I am.
Value?
An amazing book right here in my lap. You want to see
Let's
it?
go.
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's called Excursions in Modern Mathematics by Peter Tannenbaum. Nikos is like, no. Okay. But this is all of the fun sort of modern math. So there's like networks and trees, and I picked it up because I was interested in fractal geometry again. Just, I don't know. Okay. Can you see this picture of the broccoli? All right. Cool, right? All right. So, and the other thing I like about this book is the author, Peter Tannenbaum. He's kind of got this whimsicalness to him. I wish I knew him because I love the way that he writes about math. It's fun. All right. So this is chapter 12, The Kinky Nature of Nature. Romanesco broccoli is an edible flower and a close cousin of both broccoli and cauliflower. Romanesco is not a staple of the American diet. If you are lucky, you might find it occasionally in the vegetable section of one of your better supermarkets, which is too bad. Romanesco is nutritious, delicious, and beautiful to behold. It's also kinky, very, very kinky. Anyway, so this chapter is about like folding and kinks in nature, and there's trees and lightning and how they're all related. And I don't know, I was having fun going through this book because also, yeah, I was looking through all my bookmarks, and the Fibonacci series is in here, with the rabbits, which is also really good stuff.
So the question is this, Amanda, if someone is not really into maths, can they read that book, or does it require some level?
Yeah, do I need to get this book for my math teacher brother and stay out of it because I suck at math?
I almost failed high school
it's...
because of maths, but that's a story for a different episode.
Dude, I don't know what to say to that. Lots of people are afraid of math, and other people are really good at it, and it's kind of like magic. I don't know.
Yeah, but people
pick
keep
it
in
up.
mind that Amanda's threshold for what is difficult is probably different from ours because she's a PhD in something that sounds super clever. Is it astrophysics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So you
Not just
realize that.
physics, but on an astro level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hadn't thought of it. If you want to come over and browse through it and see if it's at your level or not, you're welcome to. And then, or just look at the cover. It's pretty cool, huh?
The
It's a very
cover is cool
cover.
indeed. Okay, Daniel, did you get the book? Yes, he got it. Our producer is
Good.
great. Okay.
All right. I can do another one if you guys want to do
Of course.
another one. And I can be quick about it. This one is actually, it's a recommendation that Mark has been tweeting about forever. And I'm sure that half the people here already have read it. I'm listening to it on Audible. And I think Audible is quickly my number one way of reading nonfiction books so that I can exercise or walk, whatever. So I am reading the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, which I will put it up here because it's always on digital for me. Frederick Douglass was a slave, escaped slavery, taught himself to read and write, became an amazing orator and writer. And the Audible version of it is chilling. It's just, because it comes with two introductions from two different people, and then the rest of the book is read by a different narrator. There were places where, I was like going on a walk, and there were places where I literally just stopped and cried. I highly recommend Frederick Douglass. I don't know there's been some sort of controversy over him lately about how, I thought I heard people calling him like an Uncle Tom or something. And no, his message is so anti-slavery and pro-freedom. It's just an amazing book. And I highly recommend it to anybody, especially the Audible version.
It's unbelievable how at a different level a book can be inaudible based on the who is doing the narration.
Yeah.
Last year I was listening to Malcolm X's autobiography, and the guy who's making the voice, now whenever I think of Malcolm X, I have this guy's voice in my mind. And of course, I've said it a million times, the best audiobook in terms of audible is The Fountainhead. So people who haven't read The Fountainhead, or you want to read it second time, check it out on Audible. The guy who's doing the narration is absolutely brilliant. Alejandro, have you got a second recommendation?
Not really.
Okay.
Just let me say that I went to Rochester. I lived in Rochester for a year, and Frederick Douglass there is a huge hero, and I walked really close to his grave, and I really admire him. So
when you say Rochester, I assume you mean Rochester in the United States.
Yes, Rochester, New York. Yeah.
Okay, because there's also a Rochester in Medway in the UK, which is close to Gillingham, where I lived. So people, everything is possible in life. You can live in Gillingham and then still think that these were nice years. And actually, Rochester, I liked even more. So if you're from the Medways, give me a shout out, and we will have many things to discuss. Okay, I have two more recommendations, which I'm not going to give today because they're so good books that I want to open with them. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use them in October. But just a hint, the one is a book called... No, actually, no, I'm not going to mention it. I'm going to mention it in October. So let's see what our audience has been reading. Marilyn, thank you so much for your contribution. They're always really appreciated. Roland started reading Madame Bovary. I've heard about it, but I've never read it. Also, just say I keep doing the Lisa Van Damme challenge, one chapter of Les Miserables every day with the Read With Me how it's called, the challenge, where every day you get an email from Lisa based on the previous day's chapter. I'm still on it, so it's still worth it. And Alice says she's been reading Stephen King for Spooky Month. I don't know how you people read spooky books. I remember I was reading Stephen King when I was really young, and I had trouble at night sleeping. Now, granted, I was like, I don't know, 10, 11, but yeah, it wasn't something that I would, that I enjoyed. The books were good. So they were good in what they were supposed to do, which is to scare you, but perhaps they were too good. Okay.
I'll save mine for October as well, but I have a Stephen King recommendation.
Okay, good. So, friends, thank you very much for being with us today. And thank you, Jonathan, for your contribution. So hopefully you can also go to previous episodes, the book club of the month. You see that people take the recommendations on board. And I think this concept is of value. So we're definitely going to keep it up. Mr. Producer. Oh, okay, Jack. Yes, you have an announcement. Go
Yep,
on.
I have a quick announcement for TV Talk, the show that Mark Pellegrino, Jennifer Buani, and I normally do. We've missed our last couple of Fridays because Mark has been on. I actually wasn't gonna like blame him, but now I'm blaming him. Mark's shooting schedule, because he's not on the show, so I can stab him in the back. But we are going to be on a mini hiatus until toward the end of October, due to multiple work and travel schedules. So we will make an announcement through ARCUK of when we will be back. But the next show that we are going to be doing is going to be Mr. Sunshine. So we're still on track for that.
Mr. Sunshine, again, recommended by many objectivists. I started with the first episode. I don't think I've even finished the first episode.
You have to hold on until episode 3 or 4. You honestly have to hold on until then.
Yeah.
If you can.
Been watching that Israeli one, how it's called, the Urda, no. Anyway.
Fauda?
What?
Fauda?
Yes, Hafauda. Yes. The guy with the special force. And actually,
yeah, that's amazing.
I finished the first season. The second season, I'm not too excited. And it was the first TV series for which I finished a season since I don't know when. So, I don't have much I don't have much time, neither the patience. So Netflix and stuff, it has to be really good to get my attention. But Fauda did. I definitely recommend it, particularly if you're interested in the politics of the Middle East. Okay. Below half an hour, so I consider this a victory. Less is always more. Many thanks to our audience for sharing your time with us, for honoring us with your time. Many thanks to my companions, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.